It is 1:30 Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. Reports from Indonesia say the number of dead from the earthquake Saturday is now more than 5,000. Many of the deaths took place in Yogyakarta province. Aid workers there report being low on food, water, and medical supplies. Agencies are providing some food, but survivors and aid workers say it is not enough. And medical workers on the island of Java say they need more equipment as they struggle to treat thousands of injured people. Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono has moved into a temporary office in Yogyakarta to help organize recovery efforts. He says Indonesia will continue its emergency services through August. He has said the government will spend more than $107 million to help victims with medical costs and the rebuilding of their homes. Afghan officials are enforcing a nighttime curfew in Kabul. Hours earlier, the city suffered the worst rioting since the Taliban was ousted in 2001. At least 13 people died. Many others were seriously wounded. The violence began after an accident in which American military vehicles crashed into civilian vehicles. Local officials said at least 5 people were killed and several others were injured. Hundreds of people then began to throw rocks at American soldiers. Rioters also burned police vehicles. Some people say they saw the soldiers fire their weapons. Others say local police were responsible for those killed or wounded. A United States military spokesman said American troops fired warning shots into the air. He also said the incident is being investigated. Bombs and other attacks have killed nearly 50 people across Iraq. A bomb explosion killed at least 12 people in a majority Sunni Arab area of Baghdad. A short time later, another bomb in the area killed 5 more people. A third bomb explosion near Khalis killed 11 people. Another bomb in Baghdad killed 2 British members of a news crew working for the American television company CBS. Reporter Kimberly Dozier was seriously wounded. The explosion also killed an American soldier and an Iraqi civilian and wounded 6 coalition troops. Diplomats say powerful nations are prepared to make economic offers to Iran that would guarantee its right to develop nuclear energy if it stops enriching uranium. Representatives from Germany and the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council are expected to meet in Vienna Thursday for more talks. The group is also considering punishments if the economic offers fail. China and Russia oppose restrictions and the use of force. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Reports from the Middle East say 3 militants were killed when an Israeli helicopter gunship fired a missile during a clash in northern Gaza. The Israeli army confirmed the air attack. It said soldiers saw militants trying to launch rockets at Israel. It said a gun battle followed involving Israeli aircraft. At least 5 people were wounded in the clash. The militants involved were members of Islamic Jihad. The World Health Organization has confirmed 6 more human bird flu infections in Indonesia. It says 3 of the victims have died. The WHO said an 18-year-old boy and his 10-year-old sister from West Java died last week. Experts think they got the H5N1 virus from sick chickens. A man from West Jakarta died from bird flu nearly 2 weeks ago. Medical officials believe he caught the disease after cleaning bird waste from the top of his house. 3 other people are also being treated for bird flu. The WHO says none of these reported bird flu infections are connected to the situation in North Sumatra, where the disease killed 7 members of the same family. Experts are investigating if those victims got the disease from each other. The European Union has placed the Tamil Tiger rebels of Sri Lanka on its list of terrorist groups. The action means that the rebel group no longer can use any money that it has in European banks. It also bans group efforts to earn money for rebel activities. Human rights groups have accused the rebels of threatening Tamils living outside Sri Lanka. The rebels had warned the EU against placing them on the terrorist list. They said such a move could lead to more fighting and a refusal to return to peace talks. The Tamil rebels have been fighting for more than 20 years to establish a separate homeland for Sri Lanka's ethnic minority Tamils. Tens of thousands have died in the effort. In East Timor, political talks continue as the leaders of the nation work on ways to stop the violence. Some Timorese are calling for the ouster of Prime Minister Mari Alkatiri, who dismissed about 40% of the military in March. The dismissed soldiers began a public demonstration in the capital city of Dili last month. It has since expanded into civil unrest among ethnic groups. More than 27 people have died in the past few days of fighting. More than 100 others have been wounded. In the United States, President Bush has honored America's war dead during a Memorial Day holiday observance at the Arlington National Cemetery near Washington. The President expressed his respect and thanks for the work of those who have been killed in wars. He said the nation will honor them by completing the job for which they gave their lives, defeating terrorists and securing liberty and peace. Mr. Bush also placed flowers at the Tomb of the Unknowns. It is the final resting place of a few of the thousands of Americans who have died on distant battlefields and whose names are not known. And now, briefly, here again is the major news of the hour in Special English. Reports from Indonesia say the number of dead from the earthquake Saturday is now more than 5,000. Afghan officials are enforcing a nighttime curfew in Kabul following rioting in the city that killed at least 13 people. And in Iraq, bombs and other attacks have killed nearly 50 people across the country. And that's the news in VOA Special English. From Washington, this is Jim Tedder reporting.